Hello, everyone. How are you this evening? It is great to see everybody. Happy Friday and happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. And thank you so much for your service and stuff. So I am really, really excited about today. My day today has been a little bit sidetracked. I was supposed to be filming all day today. I had about like 3 videos that I wanted to film for you guys. I have some of the stuff filmed, but I have to do some editing. But I do very little editing on a lot of my videos that you guys have seen. I leave the mistakes in. But yeah, my day got a little sidetracked. But I am here. I am here and I am ready to rock and roll with you guys. Okay, so this weekend, this Friday, Embroidery Happy Hour Friday. The topic for today, okay? This is one of the things that I'm going to talk about to you guys today. It's going to be, is embroidery easy? I say not, okay? So we need to think again, okay? Now, there's a reason why I wanted to, let me go grab my water, sorry. And I got Mellow right here. Hold on, I'm back. Okay, so there's a reason why I wanted to do this video today, okay? Like 2 weeks ago, I did a video about the ugly things that nobody talks about regarding embroidery, right? And that video was very well received, and I did get a lot of people that wrote to me asking me about, getting into this skill set and some of the issues that they're experiencing. And, I started to look around our Facebook group and even some of the other Facebook groups that were out there. And I started to see, I started seeing some of the things that people were posting about issues and stuff like that they were having with their machines or with designs, items they were trying to embroider and stuff like that, asking for advice and help. And one of the things that went through my mind is there is really a big misperception out there when people talk about embroidery and they start thinking that this is something that's really simple to do. A lot of people, they just see, these videos, and a lot of times some of these videos, folks are just turning on the machine. You see the needles going up and down, and then you see this gorgeous design show up on the projects, right? But no one really, is honest out there and come out and say, is this doable? I'm not saying that this is a hard thing. I'm not saying that, embroidery is not something that people can't learn. But the thing is, there is a lot of misperception out there that this is something that is very, very easy. Okay, it's something that you can just learn right away, quick at a dime, not an issue. Okay, but I just want to put this video out there especially for folks that are just new to embroidery, and even people that have done embroidery for years, and people that are thinking about getting into the area of embroidery. Okay, it is not an easy thing to do. There is a lot of things that are involved. And, one of the things that I want to do is I want to share some of these things that, we have to think about and we have to prepare if this is something that you want to do. Okay. Now, let's talk very beginning about embroidery. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this right up front. It is not something that is a plug and play thing. It's not like you can just get an embroidery machine, pop it in front of you, and it's going to do some magic. It doesn't work that way. That is not how embroidery works, okay? There is a very, very big, and I am talking big, okay? For some, it'll be more than for others. There's a learning curve, okay? There's a lot that is going to be involved in order for you to really be a successful embroiderer, okay? For folks that have never sewn before, you're going to have a really steep learning curve. It's not something that you can't accomplish. You can accomplish it, but it's going to take some time for you to learn, okay? Because there's going to be some things that you're going to have to learn up front. You're going to have to learn about thread. You're going to have to learn about, how a sewing machine works. the different weights of thread. You're going to have to learn about needles, the type of size of needles, and when is the appropriate time to use a certain type of weight of thread, when is it appropriate to use a certain size needle, okay? Embroidery is kind of very similar to sewing. I mean, it really is. The only difference is with sewing, you most likely you do some decorative stitching, and it's really to put fabrics together, okay? Usually with sewing, you're taking two pieces of fabric and you're kind of sewing them together. When it comes to embroidery, you're actually taking a piece of fabric or material, and what you're doing is you're actually just doing decorative stitching on it, okay? A lot of times it's not you just putting stuff together. It's, you know, like two pieces of fabric together. You're actually, what you're doing is you're creating stitches that are going to create a special kind of design, okay? So it's there's a difference in there. Now you should have some type of knowledge on sewing when you are doing that. So for a beginner, okay, just letting you know up front, there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to need to learn. Now, for those that do already know how to sew and they know the basics of how to run a sewing machine and they know about needles and threads and different types of fabric, there is still a learning curve as well. So don't think that just because you sew that you're not going to be, you're going to be, it's easy pleasy. It's not. You're going to be learning a lot because embroidery is a different type of an animal, okay? So you're really going to have a lot of an adjustment of learning. And one of the things that a lot of people don't understand when they first go into this is that they think they're going to be able to just turn on the machine, stick a file in the machine, hoop something up, just put the bobbin, put the thread, and press the button, and on we go. And sometimes they don't really understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, and what's the importance of knowing what it is that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I remember a couple of videos ago, a couple of embroidery happy hours ago, is I talked about planning. And before you even start your embroidery machine, there's going to be a planning process that every embroiderer has to do. And that is something that a lot of people that are brand new into embroidery don't know. And what do I mean by a planning process? What I mean is that you're going to have to know the type of embroidery file that you're working with. Are you working with something that's an applique? Are you going to be working with an in the hoop project? Are you going to be working with something that's just plain embroidery file? And if you are working for an embroidery file, working with an embroidery file, is it a dense design or is it sketched? Okay. There's a lot of things you have to consider. What kind of material are you going to be embroidering on? Are you embroidering on leather? Are you embroidering on twill? Are you embroidering on cotton fabric? Are you embroidering on sketchy fabric? Are you embroidering on a blanket? Are you doing a bag? Are you going on a laptop bag or jacket, the back of a jean jacket? There's so many things, right? So you have to take all of this in consideration, the material and all that stuff. Then you have to think about your thread, the type of thread. What's the right type of thread that you have to use for what you're trying to do? What is the right type of needle? What type of stabilizer stuff? So like when I talk about the learning curve, that's what I'm talking about. A lot of times people don't know that. And when they're thinking, I'm going to go into embroidery, it's going to be really, really easy. It's going to be simple and stuff like that. There are so many things up front that they really don't know. Because what happens is a lot of times when people want to go into embroidery, what they do is sometimes they'll see a machine and they just see the machine with the needle going up and down, but they really don't see what happens before that machine even gets turned on. They don't even understand what has to be thought of before you even hoop the item with the stabilizer to put it underneath the machine. There is a thought process that has to happen, okay? So that is something that a lot of people don't understand. Another thing that people don't understand is that in the embroidery world, there are two roles, okay, that folks usually play. Sometimes you'll have one person that plays both of these roles. But a lot of times you'll have people that will pick what role they want to be in the embroidery world. Either you're going to be a machinist or you're going to be a digitizer. The machinist and the digitizer has two separate different skills, okay? The machinist has to really know about how that machine works, the operating system, its capabilities, the functions, what type of products you can embroider, how you're going to hoop them, and all that kind of stuff. The digitizer really has to know about fabric, threads, how to actually take an image and turn that into a digitized file so that the machinist can take it to the machine and actually stitch out that beautiful image. Okay. So there are two different roles that are played, and each one has its own level of education that has to take place. For instance, like I mentioned before, the machinist, you got to learn your machine. So you're going to have to train yourself or work with whatever company you bought the machine from. You're going to have to learn that machine. You're going to have to learn its capabilities. You got to learn the operating system. You got to learn how to maintain it. You got to learn how to hoop items on it. You need to know how to I got a hair somewhere in my eye. You're going to have to learn how to hoop different items on the machine. You got to learn how to control the speed of that machine. Oh my God, this hair. Okay, got it. All right. Ooh, thank you. It's like that hair was bothering me. I think it was on my eyelid. Okay, going back. So, there's so many things that the machinist has to know. Okay. And usually the machinist works directly with the customer in actually delivering the finished product. Okay. The digitizer, on the other hand, has a big learning curve as well. They're going to be working with embroidery software. Now, there is a lot of different types of embroidery software out there, okay? Different brands, okay? We got Hatch, you got Brilliance, you got Sew Up Pro. I mean, there Wilcom. There's just so many different ones, okay? And each of these embroidery software work different, okay? So, to be a digitizer, and I'm gonna tell you something right up front. I tried it. It ain't for me. I will send out my work. I have my digitizers that work for me to work on whatever I need them working on. But it's like it's not easy, or for me, it's not. For someone that enjoys it and understands the software and stuff like that, that would be like cool for them. But for me, I actually prefer to work on the machines. That's my thing. I love doing that. Okay. Now, there are some people that do both. And, those that do both, oh my God, God bless you. I mean, that means you are like, whoa, that's awesome. Okay. I couldn't do it. I tried it. I just couldn't do it. I do know about digitizing. I know enough that I can fix a file or modify a file in some kind of way. But to do one from scratch, I prefer to just send that out. Okay. Now, the thing is also is, there is a learning curve on both. And a lot of times when people are first starting into embroidery, they really don't understand the roles that certain people play in the embroidery world, especially those two roles. Okay. So, when you first get into this, you have to make a decision. What is it that you want to do? Now, if you want to do both, that's okay. And you can do that. But my recommendation is pick one role, excel at that. And then once you've excelled at that, then you move on to the next level and the next role, and then start learning the process in that. Okay. So, there is just so much to learn in embroidery. And it's not something that is quick. Okay. And that's a misperception that a lot of people have. That's why I say it's not a plug and play thing. Even though you got your machine and you may be able to press a button and maybe, embroider a heart and stuff like that. But when you get to the real meat of embroidery, where you start to do custom work, where you start to do logos, where you have to embroider the back of jackets and work with different materials and do hats and all that kind of stuff, it gets more complicated. It really does. So if you are thinking about going into embroidery, just know that up front, know that this is going to be something that It's going to take time to learn. It's going to take you got to have that mindset, that an understanding that as time goes on, you're going to be learning a lot. It's going to be a lot of information, especially in the beginning. In the very beginning, it can be very overwhelming. Okay. I mean, when you walk in and you see all the threads, and then you see the different weights of thread, and then you see all the needles and the different sizes of needles. And what's really going to trip you up is when you see the stabilizers, the different types of stabilizers, the different weights that you got: tear away, cut away. You have no-show mesh. You have sticky stabilizer. You have the water cylinder. When you see, water, you guys know the stuff you put on the top. So when you have all that stuff, okay, at the beginning, you're gonna be like, oh my God, what did I get into? What is this? Okay. And then you're gonna start thinking, oh my God, how much is this? How much is that? How much is this? And then you're gonna be like, this is expensive. This can really, really get big. So just know that up front, okay? Because that is a thing. A lot of times people say, oh, this is, oh, we can do embroidery. Yeah, you can do embroidery, but just know that this is not something that you're gonna learn in a day. This is something that's going to take weeks to do. Okay. It is a skill. Trust me, it is a skill. This isn't like something real easy to do and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Not, it's not like like, I guess I kind of comparing it in my mind, like the Cricut maker, right? The Cricut maker is it's a craft. You once you learn how to do the Cricut maker, you learn a couple of tricks and stuff like that, and you're good, right? But with the embroidery machine, it's a little more complex because you're dealing with stitches, you're dealing with a machine. There's just so many different things that has to be considered in order for you to really come up with a really good product, okay? So the other thing that a lot of times people don't understand about embroidery is that not all embroidery is the same, okay? A lot of times people come on and they say, oh, I just want to do embroidery. I want to take a file, stick it in the machine, and stitch it out. The thing is that there are different types of stitching styles that are out there. And when you want to get into embroidery, you have to have an understanding about the different stitch styles that are out there. You got your satin stitch, you got bean stitches, you got your regular embroidery files that's embroidery filled, you got applique. Okay, I wrote them all down. You got 3D embroidery. 3D embroidery is really, really big. Okay, it really is. I mean, if you ever walked into one of those embroidery shops in the mall like Lids, and you ever looked at their baseballs, the baseball caps, a lot of those baseball caps have 3D embroidery. Okay, that's a skill. You got to learn that. You got to learn how to do it. Okay, there's cross stitches. There's in the hoop projects. There's patches. How are you going to do patches? Patches are really big in the embroidery industry, okay? I mean, it's not just embroidering shirts and hats and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people love their patches, custom personalized patches. Got to learn how to make them. And there's different ways to make them too, different materials and all that kind of stuff. So depending on the patch that you want to make, that's going to depend on the material that you're going to use. So it's I just want to just throw it out there. It's for those folks that think embroidery is very simple. It's not. It's a skill. It's a skill. I'm just throwing some stuff out there so that people could realize that, oh shoot, you got to know all this stuff. Yes, you do. You gotta know this stuff. You're not gonna learn it in a day, but it's stuff that you're gonna have to know once you start to embroider. Okay. Another thing that you're going to have to think about, the embroidery process that you have to do for each of the products that you want to embroider. The way you embroider a baseball hat is not going to be the same as the process is not going to be the same as when you go to embroider a baby blanket. Also, embroidering baby blankets, okay? The process to embroider a baby blanket is going to be different depending on the material. Okay. Now, for those of you guys that are part of our Facebook group, you guys saw that I posted a baby blanket that I had just embroidered. Okay. And I embroidered it with the name Annie. That blanket is plush. This is plush material, very soft. So you can see it has fibers, sticks up, and all that kind of stuff. Knockdown stitches. You got to learn about different styles of it. Knockdown stitches, emboss files, and all that kind of stuff. You got to know what stitches to use when, and what materials can you use what stitches with, and then what fabric you need. If you have a particular fabric, then what stabilizer should you be embroidering with that fabric? So I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys right now, but it's just something that I want people to realize, okay? Because what's happening is I notice a lot of frustration out there. There is a lot of people out there that want to learn this craft, and what's happening is they're making mistakes. Now, it's a good and bad thing, okay? It's a bad thing because some of them had the perception that embroidery is going to be so easy to do, that it's just sticking in the machine and it goes. And then when it doesn't work that way, then they get discouraged. They get mad. They're like, oh, the machine's not working, this, that, and this sucks and whatever. Kind of like similar to my little hate relationship that I had with my serger when I was learning how to do the rolled hem, okay? A lot of user errors going in, okay? Because the machine was fine. It was Jeanette that was a mess, okay? So, there's a lot of people that when they start to do embroidery and they see all these things go wrong, it's really because they're going through that learning process, okay? And they get frustrated. And what ends up happening is sometimes they get so frustrated that they quit. They hate it, they don't like it anymore, and they're off. They're done. Next thing you know, you see their machine up for sale because they don't want to do it anymore. So my whole thing is that I need people to understand, or I want people to understand, that if this is something that you want to do, please have an understanding that this is something that's going to take time for you to excel at, because there are a lot of moving parts to this field. It's not something that's very, very simple, okay? So I'm going to keep moving on to some of the things that we need to consider, okay? Different equipment. There are different types of embroidery machines out there. Not all embroidery machines work the same. They all have different operating systems. Some machines have, you could work right on them. Other machines involve for you to buy another computer for you to hook up to it. Each of these machines have its own individual operating system. Each of these machines read their own format for digitizing files, for embroidery files. You have PES, you have DST, you have HUS. There are so many different embroidery file formats. You have, everyone's different. And you have to understand that. So you're going to have to, like, even in the beginning, you're going to have to allow yourself time to really understand and learn that machine, learn what it does, learn how it works, learn about all of its functions. And it's important, learn all the functions, because sometimes some of these machines have some capabilities that are built in them that actually can make your life a lot easier. But you're not going to be able to utilize them if you don't take the time to actually learn everything that machine is capable of. And that's going to take time. And sometimes when you don't learn the machine, what ends up happening is you make errors, just like I did when I was working on my serger. Okay, I was working on the serger. I didn't know how to properly place the tension on my machine. So because I didn't have the right tension, I wasn't getting the right stitch. Well, if you don't understand your embroidery machine and you don't understand how to properly hoop things, how to properly change those needles, how to properly maintain it, how to properly thread it, you're going to have a lot of issues as well. So just know that all machines are not equal. They all have their own good and bad. They all have their own different functionalities. You just have to look at the machine that you have and make sure that you have a full understanding of how it works. That's going to take time, okay? Also, think about the different materials that are involved, all right? Like your threads, your stabilizers, different weights. You're going to end up learning about what thread weights mean. I learned about thread weights when I started really working on patches. That's when I really started to learn the difference between a 40 weight thread and a 60 weight thread. When I started to embroider small fonts, that's when I learned about the importance of using 60 weight thread with a 65 9 size needle. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to let you know right up front, because this is the thing. A lot of times people get frustrated because their stuff don't come out right. I'm just going to I'm putting it out there. Okay. You are going to mess up a lot. If anybody out there tells you that they're embroidering and they tell you, oh, I didn't mess up, they're lying. They're lying. They're not telling you the truth. Okay. I mean, it's like my girlfriend Harmony. Okay. She does these beautiful hats. Okay. You see the beautiful hats, but what you don't see is all the hats that she had to throw out because it didn't embroider right before she got to that perfect hat. The same thing's going to happen to you. It happens to me too. Okay. I mean, and that's where I tell people, buy cheap blanks because you're practicing. And, your stuff is really, you're going to have to embroider and embroider and embroider, learn and learn and learn. You're going to be messing up a bunch of stuff. Okay. You are going to be messing up a bunch of stuff. You're going to be messing up shirts. You're going to be messing up hats. They're going to be, it's going to be gone. I'm telling you, you're going to be pissed. So my thing is just get your mental straight, mentally get straight and know that you got to go out there, hit those thrift shops or go to the dollar store and get those real cheap blanks so that you can practice. Because that way you can excel that craft. And then when you have the $15 hat and you can embroider, it could come out nice and you'll feel good. You didn't mess up a $15 hat. You messed up a dollar hat. Okay. So I'm just letting you guys know, you got to get to know your materials. You got to get to know the different types of fabric. Okay. There's a lot of information about that. There is an article that I recommend. And as you can see, I have it right by my embroidery machine. Use it all the time. You guys have seen me. If you guys have watched me for quite some time, you guys know I always talk about this article and stuff. Google it. Just Google this Fabrics 101 Stabilizer and Design Guide. Google that. Okay. You Google it, you're going to see it. It's a PDF file. Bring it up, print it out, keep it by your machine. This tells you about the fabric, the type of stabilizers, the type of design, and the needle that you should be using. It's not going to be 100%, but it's a start, especially if you are so brand new to embroidery, okay? Because I'm going to tell you, when I first started embroidery, I thought the only stabilizer you needed was tearaway. So I just, I bought my machine. My first machine was the SC1900. I bought a pack of stabilizer tearaway. And then I bought a box of 63 different colors threads. That was what I started with. And that's all I thought I needed. I didn't think I needed anything else. Then I was like, wait a minute. How do I embroider hats? So then that's when I said, oh, now I got to learn how to use a hat hoop. And now I got to really learn how to hoop a hat correctly in the hat hoop so that I can get it embroidered really nice. Then I found out about the different fabrics, right? If I wanted to embroider a stretchy fabric, like a shirt, see how this stretches? Okay. You can't use cutaway. You got to use tearaway. You don't use tearaway, use cutaway. If you wear it, there's a saying, if you wear it, then you don't tear it. So I think I said it opposite. But just so that I get you guys straight, okay? I bought I bought tearaway, but I never bought the other stuff of stabilizers because I just thought, oh, we don't need that. No, yes, you do. You do. You're gonna need it, okay? Because believe me, I'm as frugal as they come, and I didn't think about the different types of thread. I thought, oh, 40 weight, a box of 63, good to go. I'm good with that. No, you need 60 weight too. Because if you're going to be embroidering small letters for a logo, you can't do it with 40 weight. And, and if you want to know why, do yourself a favor and take small fonts. Do a test. Do a test for you. Okay. This is a good thing to do. Okay. Do a test. Get the word, get one small word. Okay, like school. Just do school. Okay, do it in like I don't know 0.25 font. Do it on a 40 weight thread using a 7511 needle. Then embroider that again using a 60 weight thread with a 65/9 size needle, and then you're going to see a difference. And then right there, you're going to be like, oh, that's why. You know what I'm saying? So it's a learning. You got to learn. There is just so much to digest and learn. And that's the thing that kills me is that sometimes people like right away they think, oh, I want to embroider, it's easy. I always yes and no. Okay, yes and no. Is it doable? Absolutely, it's doable. Anything in life is doable. Okay, you can be whatever you want to be. Okay, as long as you got the drive and the passion, you're there. The thing that I have a problem with is when people have like I said in the beginning, the perception that this is something that is going to flow real easy. It's not. There's a lot to learn. Okay. Now, there's another thing that you're going to be learning a lot. And this is the thing because I want folks to think about this, okay? And even for those that are embroidering now, when you make mistakes, I want you guys to understand it's a learning process. Hooping. There are different ways to hoop. There's different things out there to hoop your items. You got fast frames, you got mighty hoops, you got magnetic hoops, you got your regular generic hoops that come with your machine. And there's different ways that you can hoop an item. You can actually use temporary spray adhesives. Some people use sticky stabilizers. Some people use magnets. Some people float their items. Some people hoop the item along with their stabilizer. And the thing is also is that sometimes what happens is when you are, looking to embroider something, not everything gets hooped the same way. Okay. Depending on what you are embroidering, how and what you're going to embroider on what product, that's going to help determine what method of hooping you're going to use. There is just so many things that has to be thought about. And that is the thing that sometimes I think a lot of people miss out when they want to learn embroidering. Okay. Let me go to the second page. The other thing, and I think I've already kind of harped on this a little bit. Time. There is going to be a lot of time that you will need to invest. A lot of people don't understand that. They, like I said, it's not plug and play. You're going to be spending a lot of time, not just learning, but practicing. And I'm telling you, it's practice. And I'm talking about turning on those machines every day. I'm talking about practicing embroidering different files, making sure you understand tension, making sure you understand what a good, healthy stitch looks like, making sure that you know for sure how to stabilize your items correctly. And when I mean practice also, I also am talking about trying out different stabilizers with different types of materials so that you can see what works best for what you're trying to do. Okay. There's also different weights in stabilizers as well. You got heavy, you got medium, you got lightweight stabilizers as well. So, there is just so much to digest. And because there is so much, there is a lot of practice that's got to be involved in it. The other thing, and I'm up to like number 10, okay, is training. You're going to be learning a lot. And there's a lot of different ways to get trained. There are courses out there to help you learn embroidery. You can go to a sewing shop that's by you. Sometimes they have, little clubs where they teach projects and stuff like that. That's a great place to learn about embroidering or sewing and stuff like that. YouTube, videos like what I post out there and others. That's another good source. But it's just, to me, it's like you just have to go out for the education. You really do. You have to be able to invest that time so that you can practice and also educate yourself, to go out there, talk with other embroiderers, join different groups of embroiderers out there, go to the expos, okay, and see, sometimes in these expos they have training classes, okay. You need to do that as well. So just, you got to get out there. You got to be willing to talk to people, and you have to be willing to know when to ask for help also, okay. There are going to be times when you're going to drive yourself crazy trying to figure out problems. There is nothing wrong with going out there and reaching out to somebody else, or reaching out in a group and saying, hey, I have this issue on this machine, can you help me out? A lot of times you'll be amazed at how many people will be willing to go out there and help people, okay. The other thing also that takes a lot of time, that a lot of embroiderers don't understand, or people that want to get into embroidery, is that there's a lot of research that has to go into getting into this type of craft and skill, okay. And when I talk about research, I'm talking about looking at the different types of machines that are out there that are available for you. Also, and even after you're set up, okay, like let's say you got your machines and you got your threads and all that kind of stuff, you still have to research and look at different types of materials that are out there available for people that want to embroider. For instance, there's always different types of brands of stabilizers out there, different brands of thread. There's also like different places where you can purchase your blanks, okay. And one of the things, as as an embroiderer, whether you're a hobbyist or even someone who wants to run a small business regarding embroidery, one of the things is you're going to want to make sure that you research enough, not just to make sure that the materials that you use are of good quality, but you're also getting a very good and fair price for your blanks, and threads and all that kind of stuff. So, you got to make sure you do your homework and research, and that all takes a lot of time. And a lot of times, people think, oh, you just can grab something. Well, there's some truth to that. You can, and I ain't gonna, I do it, sometimes I'll go into Walmart and I see a nice baseball hat, fits really good on me. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna take this home and put my initials on it, or take it home and do something, put some nice little cute embroidery on it and make it for me. Or, I'll pick up a bag or something and I'll say, oh, I can embroider that as a gift for a friend, or even just get a blanket, blankets. I don't know. I think blankets are getting kind of hot this year. I'm getting a lot of people that are reaching out to me and are buying those plush blankets. And I can see why, because if you guys have not gone out there yet, if you go to, Miss Banks called me the other day, she went to JC Penney, and she sent me a picture of JC Penney had all these nice, I mean, they were really pretty, good quality blankets. And I think she said, I think they were like, I don't know, they were less than $20, I think, something like that. They had a range. She told me the range, but they were less than $20. Oh, Shoot, my battery's going a little low on my laptop. Ain't that something? I didn't plug my laptop. Hold on. Give me a minute here. Okay, there we go. All right, we're plugged in. We got power. All right. So yeah, so that is you can get blanks from almost anywhere. Okay. But the thing is, if you're doing it as a business, then what happens is you're really going to want to do your research so that you can make sure that you're getting good quality blanks that are going to really represent you and your company well, and you want a good fair price. So you're going to have to do research, and that is something that a lot of times people don't think about that. They don't think about that end, and stuff. Now, the last thing that I need to mention, I'm going pretty fast, but look at it, it's 8:40. Okay, so the last thing I want to mention, that a lot of times when people get into embroidery, they don't understand. They look at the machine and they think that's it. No, it's not. Okay, and this is a big one. It's a big one, and I think this is one that catches a lot of people by surprise. I don't care what role you're playing, whether you're the digitizer or you're the machinist in the world of embroidery, but you will not only need to invest in your machine, but you are going to need to invest in embroidery software. Whether you like it or not, if you want to do true embroidery, okay, and you don't want to limit yourself to the embroidery files that are on the machine or embroidery files that you purchase online, and the fonts that you have on your machine, you're going to have to purchase embroidery software. That's just, it's a given. It is a given. Okay. That can really takes people in for a loop, especially in the beginning of embroidery, because what they do is they get their machine, they have the machine set up, and then all of a sudden, they're buying all these nice files, and they, after a while, when you buy these files, you start to want to do a little more with what you have, right? Like, I'll give you an example. I started with the Brother SC1900. Now, the SC1900 has a 5x7 hoop. However, though, you can use repositional hoops with that machine, and the repositional hoop is a 5x12 size, which means that now I have a larger hoop size. The problem is, in order for me to be able to use a repositional hoop on the Brother SC1900, I have to be able to take a design and make it so that it'll fit in that hoop, and I can save it into 2 files so I can embroider the top and then embroider the bottom. Because basically what the embroidery software does is it takes your design and it saves it into 2 separate 5x7 files. In order to be able to use that hoop, you need your embroidery software. So it's like you're stuck, So unless you just want to be able to use the designs that are built into your machine as is, and use the fonts that came in your machine the way it is, and just purchase embroidery files and then use them as they are, okay, then you're going to have to invest, okay? If you want to do any type of customization, like, take one design and, kind of merge it with another design, or take a design and then personalize it and use different types of fonts. And they have beautiful fonts out there in script and print and all that. I mean, you have to have the embroidery software. Now, embroidery software can be inexpensive, but it can also be expensive. And depending on the type of functionality that you want, that's going to determine the cost, okay? Sometimes when you look at inexpensive embroidery software, it will work and it'll probably let you do some things, but it does limit you in others, okay? Sometimes you can buy certain embroidery software that costs a lot, but the capabilities are kind of like endless. You don't, you can even learn how to digitize if you want, okay? So that's something you could think about. They also have some companies where they have embroidery software where you can buy little pieces. That's kind of the route that I chose. Well, first of all, I was kind of forced to choose in Brilliance too, okay, because I am a Mac user, okay. All my products at home are Apple. I'm an Apple girl, okay. We don't do Windows in the Woods home. So unfortunately, if you are a Mac user, you are kind of limited because I have not been able to find another type of embroidery software out there that actually works on a Mac. Now, fortunately, even though Embrilliance right now seems to be the only product out there to work on a Mac, I personally do seem to like it. It seems to be very user friendly. It can be very costly. The very beginning, I believe when I got it, it was like $129. I think it might be up to $139. I'm not sure. For the essentials, but then they have like different modules, right? And depending on what it is that you want to do, that will determine the module that you have to purchase. And every different module has its own different price. Okay. So, you could easily, I know a lot of people that what they do is they just go and then they just like buy the essentials, which is the first module, and then they're fine with that. And they don't really invest in any of the other modules and they're good. So it really depends on what it is that you want to get out of your embroidery, the type of designs that you want to make. That's really kind of is going to determine the software that you're going to need. However, though, whatever software you pick, just know that that is another thing that you got to learn about. Okay. So it's an added thing in here. Not only do you have to learn how your machine works, the operating system, and all that kind of good stuff, but now you got this software that now you're going to have to learn as well. And sometimes some software can be very easy to learn, some cannot. And everyone has a different way of learning as well. Okay. Some people can pick up things really quickly, some people can't. So, my recommendation when it comes to picking out your software is I know that within Brilliance, they do have a free version that you can try out. Now, the free version, I don't think has a lot of functionality in there, but it gives you enough so that you could see the look and feel of the software's environment. So that way you get to understand what's going to look like and how it's going to work. I'm sure that if you look at other embroideries software, like I know Sew Up Pro is another one that's pretty popular. And I think that one's inexpensive. I'm not sure that runs on the Windows, but there's just so many different softwares out there. So to me, what I would do is I would go to all the sites and I would be like, do you have free version? And if you do, I would download the free version and I would play with it. And I would be like, is this it? And the first impression I would ask myself is, am I finding the environment in this software easy? Can I, is it working for me? Right. The second thing that I would do is then I would look and maybe Facebook and see how many support groups are out there for this software. Okay. And then sign up for them. Just sign up, and then look around and read some of the posts and see if people are posting issues that they're having, or are they saying positive things about the software? Are they saying negative things about the software? What kind of support are they getting? And also go on YouTube, search the name of the software, and then watch some of the videos, because if you can't get a free copy of it, then at least by watching a video on YouTube, you can get an idea of what the software looks like, so that, if you decide to buy it, it's not going to be foreign to you. You're going to already know how some of it's going to look, and see if there's a lot of tutorials out there to help you maneuver around the software. So that way you know how to open files, close files, merge files, add new text, save working files, you know, I don't know, change colors, change, you know, hoop sizes. Will the hoop show on the screen? Can you make the hoop smaller, bigger? You know, pick different thread types, thread colors and stuff like that, different collections and stuff like that. So, I mean, just, you know, you got to do the research and stuff like that. So, you know, I just, you know, it's a lot. I know it's a lot. It really is a lot. And I'm going to be honest, one of the videos that really saved me, and one that I highly recommend that you guys look at, is there's a lady by the name Eve, and she's from the Baby Booty. And I think her video was like 10 things that I wish I knew about embroidery, something like that. And when I first started to get into this, because it was really something that I wanted to do, but I wasn't sure about it. I wanted to learn some more about it. She did an excellent job of breaking down things that you really need to be aware of. Okay. And one of the things that she mostly said, which is true, okay, and this is another thing too, you know, when we say embroidery is not easy, it's not even easy in your pocketbook. It isn't, okay, because every time you think you have everything you need, you're going to be buying more thread, you're going to be buying more hoops. There is something out there, okay, blanks, whatever, okay. So her video, one of the things it said was, a lot of times people have this misperception that embroidery is easy, and that it, you know, they don't know how much it costs. It costs money. And I remember, I think I read a post from someone that they said that they finally were putting all their books in order, right? And they had gotten, I think it was QuickBooks or something like that. And they were putting in all of their expenses. And they found out that the highest expense that they had in embroidery was the amount of money they spent on buying embroidery files. And I'm not surprised. I am not surprised, because embroidery files is what you really need to do embroidery. And all customers are not all going to want the same thing. Okay. You're going to need to buy new designs. You're going to need to get designs digitized. I mean, that's, you know, if you really think about it, embroidery designs is the bread and butter of the whole thing, right? Because without your embroidery designs, then what do you have the machine for? What did you get the software for? What are the threads for? Nothing. So, you know, she was like, I could not believe how much I spent on buying embroidery files. You know, I believe it. I believe it, you know. I mean, I cringe when I see how much I spend, you know, and I try to design my own sometimes. You know, so it's, you know, a lot of times people say, oh, embroidery, it's easy. I'm like, is it? I don't know. I mean, you know, I have to be honest. Sometimes I look at some of the things that I've embroidered when I first started, and I got to tell you, when I embroidered, I have a towel. My husband has a towel, cigar towel. That was one of the first things I embroidered. And when I did that, I was so proud. And I was like, oh, Fred, look what I did for you. And he's walking around with that towel and all that stuff. And then now I look at that towel, and I look at it, and I'm like, oh, I thought this was good. What was I thinking? You know, but it's because here I am now, 4 years later, and my skill set has improved. I know better about stabilizer. I know better about fabric. I know better about designs, you know, how to really make designs look better, you know, making them bigger, smaller, modifying them and stuff like that. There's just so, you know, your skill set improves. So that is the one thing too that a lot of people don't realize. Practice, 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 practice. It matters. It will improve the quality of your embroidery. It really, really will. I mean, it's something that you just have to do. So, guys, that is all the stuff that I had about embroidering not being easy. I just wanted to put all this stuff out there because a lot of times people come out and say, "Oh, no, it is not. It is not easy. It's a process. You have to learn it. You got to know it, and it takes time. It takes time. That is a thing that I think most people really don't understand. They really think that this is something that you can just take it and run with it. It's like, oh, I got the machine, I got the thread, I got the stabilizer, I'm golden, I'm good. It's like, bring me the customers. And I'm like, slow down. It's like, no, you don't want the customers yet. You want to be able to really be confident. You got to learn that machine, and you got to learn how to correct mistakes. You're going to have mistakes, okay? There are going to be times when you can't correct mistakes, and that takes time to learn also. So there's just so much. There really truly is. And that's why sometimes it's not that I hate it when I hear people say, oh, embroidery, that's so easy. No, it might be easy if I guess you could say it's easy if this is something that that you've been doing for a long time. But you have to be honest with yourself and know, and you have to really think back. Was it easy for you 20 years ago when you were doing this? I bet you it wasn't. I bet you broke a lot of needles. I bet you your thread shredded all over the place. I bet you the quality of the stitching that you have now is nowhere near what you were doing back then. I bet you. I bet you that if you turn that clock back, those stitches, those designs that you stitched back then, you would not even want a customer to take a look at them, because you know that it is not top notch, because you have now the skill set, because of all the practicing, of all the times you've messed up and everything. You built that skill set, so it takes time. And a lot of times people, they don't understand that. They think that everything just happens like that, okay? And it doesn't, okay? It really doesn't. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys, okay? Remember these, okay? For these small threads, right? Well, look what I was looking at my big threads. And sometimes to take this, and I was putting it on here, and I'm like, there's got to be something better, right? I'm gonna show you guys what I bought. This is not even like a sewing thing, but I'm turning it into one. This is they called it, it's a kid's toy. This is actually a kid's toy. And I got it on Amazon, and it's called slap wrist. Okay, it's one of those, like, you go like that. And for those that got like the magnetic pin cushion that you do on the wrist, that's the actual thing. So all it is a pack of this, okay? And I think this cost me about like $10 for like 25 of them. And I got my little thread hugger for the big combs. So I just wanted to share this little tip that I found, because I thought this was pretty cool. I was like, oh, I was looking at it, and then I said, wait a minute. And I was like, oh. So that way my thread's not all over the place. So it's the same concept as this, okay? Because my threads get all over the place and stuff. So it's like we had the thread huggers, but these are like for the small ones, right? So I just saw these, and I said, oh, I could use these for the big combs. So I wanted to share this, a little tip with you guys. So I thought this was like pretty cool and stuff. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys and stuff. And then another thing that I bought myself, and I actually bought two of these. I had one shipped to my son, and he just got it today, and I just got my copy. If you, I decided this is a book, and it's called All on Board. Okay. And what it actually is, it has inspirational quotes. And I guess what happened is because I had that hate relationship with the serger, I said, you know what? I am just not the type of person. I don't quit. I don't quit in anything. I'm hard headed. My sister will tell you guys. You know, she's known me all her life. Okay, she'll tell you Jeanette is hard headed. When she says she's gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. It's just my personality. That's just how I am. Okay. Well, I'm like, I am determined that I'm not gonna let any of these machines ever make me quit. So I went and I got myself an inspirational book and I'm keeping it in my sewing room so that when I'm just in the mood or whatever, I'm going to open this book up and I'm just going to read some of the stuff. And, it has some really good, little inspirational stuff. So I'm like, you know what? This is really cool. It's something that I could keep in my sewing room. And like this one, it says, hope your day is as beautiful as you are, which would be impossible. I'm like, oh, and then look at that. Don't give up. That's what I needed when I was going to throw that serger on the room. It's like, I like having books like this, and I'm really not much of a reader, but I do like having books like this. So one of the things that I encourage you is like, especially if you're doing embroidery and stuff like that, because you're going to have your moments. You're going to have your moments. I'm telling you, we all do. Okay. We have our moments where the needle breaks, the thread gets all messed up, and sometimes you just boo-boo, you just make that boo-boo, and it's going to get on your nerves and things are just going to be like, blah, it's going to drive you crazy. So, get a book like that and then keep it in your little sewing room and stuff like that. You don't have to get this one, but there's lots of them. Look for little books with little inspirational stuff in there, so that way you could just read it, and whenever you're feeling a little down or something like that, it's a little lift up to not give up and just keep going and stuff. So anyway, all right, so I am going to let me go down the chat, because you guys know I like to say hi to everybody, and please, share your experience and stuff like that. Let me see. I'm going to go to the top. Hey, I see Barbara. Hey, Sandra, how are you? Hey, Sassy. I see Kingsbury, Judy. Hey, Karen, Needlepoint. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Barbara. I see Veronica. Nancy, what is that machine that you got? What is it for? Oh, are you talking about her knitting machine? For you guys that don't know, my sister Nancy has a YouTube channel called Gifts HQ. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Her channel is so cute. I got to admit, at first, when she was doing these little things, I was like, what are you doing? But every time, I'm into it now, okay? I was so mad at myself because last Saturday, I couldn't do it. In the beginning of her show, she has like a quiz, right? Where she has all these like questions regarding crafting, right? And the question goes on the screen, and then everyone has a chance to answer the question in the chat. And then after like a couple of seconds, I think she gives you like 30 seconds or something like that, the answer pops up, if it's right or wrong or whatever, right? But it is a lot of fun. But you got to be there at exactly 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And her show is she's live every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And she always has that craft quiz in the beginning. And I got to tell you, it's a lot of fun. So you guys got to watch her. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I love it. I get into it. It's like, I look forward to it. Yeah, she's my sister, but I gotta admit, it's a cute idea. I mean, everybody's getting into it and stuff, but it's like it's really cool. It's a lot to learn and stuff. And she's more on the her channel is more on the she does knitting and she's a quilter, so she likes to quilt. I'm more on the embroiderer. She does embroidering too, and I'm trying to get her more into the embroidering. But her thing is she loves quilting and she loves knitting. And so she knitted my hat. I got it downstairs. I got it in my coat pocket and stuff because now it's starting to get cold over here. So and stuff. It came out real cute with a little pom pom and everything. Matches my new coat. So I'm excited. Hey Eve, how are you? Let's see. Hey Robin, how you doing? Hey Alicia. Oh, Jeanette loved it. Oh, thank you, Eve. Straightened it today. Today I got it straightened. I didn't got the flat iron out. Hey Miss Hills, how are you? I agree, it's not. Hey Iris. Hey Miss Banks, welcome back. Welcome back. Miss Banks put highlight that. Yes, Miss Banks was under the weather, but she is back. And she can't wait to be stitching. Oh, and I can't wait to visit her and stuff. So that way we can do some sewing together. So Miss Banks, I'm really excited that you are doing so much better. I really am so happy for you. And so, hey Iris, I see Walk by Faith. Yep, everybody was worried about you, Miss Banks. Everybody's asking last week and stuff. I'm so glad that everything worked out. Hey Nita B, how you doing? Hey Danielle. Hey Deborah. Let's see. Let's see. Hey Jill, how are you? Oh, Mello is Mello the supervisor. There he is. He's back there, as you can see, sleeping. He's lazy. Especially today. Where do you suggest a newbie to everything to go and learn about sewing? Hey Barbara. Oh, okay. To learn about sewing, Barbara, I'm gonna tell you know who taught me to sew. Check out a YouTube channel called The Crafty Gemini. The lady's name is called Vanessa Vargas, and she does on hands sewing projects, and she is really good to watch, to learn how to sew. Barbara, you would love her. She actually taught me and my sister how to sew. We got into her channel. You start with little small projects like doing a little zipper pouches, then and then you start doing like oven mitts, kitchen towels and all that kind of stuff. And you start to grow, and then she has like more projects and stuff, bigger projects, like how to do a pillowcase and all that. And before you know it, you're gonna like fall in love with sewing, because I mean that is really how I really started this whole thing, was watching her. And then I was like, oh, I want to make my own little coin cases and stuff like that. And I bought a very inexpensive sewing machine, and I started sewing like that. And next thing you know, I really got into it. And then from there, I upgraded my machine to a SC 1900, and that's when I started getting into embroidery. So yeah, I mean, I would check out her channel. I think you would not be disappointed, because she is very good at teaching and stuff. And I like her personality. I like how detailed she is in teaching. She's really good. Another thing you could do to learn how to sew is, if you have a sewing shop by you, ask them if they have a sewing club. A lot of them do, okay? And sometimes they'll have little classes that you can take and they're not that expensive. And you can learn how to work a sewing machine and learn how to sew seams and all that kind of stuff. So those are two great places that you can go to just to start so that you can learn. Okay, so I would recommend those. Hey Grace, how you doing? Hey Marlene. Oh, look at that. Nancy even put Crafty Gemini. My sister put that in Gifts HQ. That's her YouTube channel, Gifts HQ. Yes, Crafty Gemini. That is her teaching style is awesome. It really truly is. Hey, I just learned about the SE2000. It has the same features plus Wi-Fi. Oh, wow, that's so awesome. Now I'm wondering how much they ask it for the SE2000. Now, between the 2000 and the 1900, they did have an SE1950. And the difference between the SE1950 and the SE1900 was that the speed of the stitches. The SE1900 stitches 650 stitches per minute. The 1950 went up to 850 stitches per minute. I wonder how much the SE2000 is. I wonder if it's still 850 stitches per minute or less. But that is awesome that they added the Wi-Fi feature. Now, there is something, though, that I do want to talk about with the Wi-Fi feature, okay? And I think I was talking with Miss Banks about this, okay? The 6-needle machine that I have a Brother PR670E. Now, the 6-needle machine that I have right now does not have the Wi-Fi capability. The new one that they came out has the Wi-Fi capability, but that's and don't quote me, but I think it is the only new feature that is in that machine. Okay. Now I have the Wi-Fi capability in my 10-needle machine. Okay. Now, I have to honestly tell you guys, I don't use that feature much. I don't find myself using it that much at all. The only thing that I like about the 10-needle machine with the Wi-Fi capability is there is an app that Brother has called My Stitch Monitor. So one of the things is that if I have something stitching on my 10-needle machine and I can go to the actual app, and I can go outside and have like a glass of wine or something like that, and the stitch monitor will alert me if the machine finished or if I got a thread break or the machine stopped. So that's the only thing that I really kind of use it for. Now, within Brilliance, they have the Solaris where I can actually save. I can work on an embroidery file, and then I can save it and actually send it through the Wi-Fi to my 10-needle machine. Now, even though I have that capability to do that, I kind of still favor saving the file to my machine and also saving it on a USB flash drive. And I usually just take the flash drive and walk it over to the machine and put it in. Now, I do have USB extenders so that it doesn't mess up the machine from putting the flash drive in and out on the machine all the time. Okay. So, but it's just the Wi-Fi capability. I don't know. For some reason, me personally, I don't use it a lot. Honestly, I really don't. It's not a feature that is really big. So the way I would see it is if the SE2000 has the Wi-Fi capability, I would have that honest conversation with myself, because I'm sure there's going to be a big price difference, right? Because they're not going to give you extra capabilities for free. Okay. So, it's going to be a price difference between the SE1900 and the SE2000. I would want to know what other brand new features am I getting besides the Wi-Fi with the SE1900. I mean, the SE2000, because I know me, I know I have both machines. I have one that doesn't have Wi-Fi, and I have one that does. My SC1900, of course, does not have the Wi-Fi, but I don't know. For some reason, I do like having my designs on my USB flash drive. But that's just me. I don't know. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it. It's just that's just how I see it. Because and another thing that Miss Banks she brought up, when me and her were talking about, she said sometimes what she does, which is really smart, is like she buys the machines, right? When she buys her machines, she waits for the new model to come out, because when the new model comes out, they want to push those new models, and they want to get those old machines off the racks, right? So you could end up getting a more later model, and maybe you don't get all those bells and whistles, but if you really think about it, did you really need them? It's like, I don't know. It's like, that's why it's like sometimes you really got to look at the machine and see what kind of functionality you're getting in there. Like, is it really something that's really going to enhance your embroidery capability? To me, the Wi-Fi is a convenient thing. It just means that you can just probably save it and send it to your machine. It could be convenient. It could be. But the thing is, like, me personally, I'm right here. My SC1900, I mean, it's right there. Right there. You see it right there. Okay. So for me to take a USB drive from my computer and just walk it over there and put it in that machine, it ain't really a lot of effort. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, so to me personally, for my use, the Wi-Fi is not something that I find is like, whoa, it's like, oh, it's gotta have it. So it just depends on the person, it just depends on the person and how they feel it can help them and their embroidery. So I don't know. I mean, just but you know what? Walk by faith. I'm glad you put that out there, because I want to take a look at it. I'm going to look at that machine more in depth and see what they got and stuff. Hey, Naro, how are you? How you doing? Buenas noches. Hey, Sandra, I agree with you on the digitizing. It is not for me, but I really enjoy adding things to already designed. Yes, Sandra, and that's basically really what I do. And this is a thing also when it comes to embroidery as well. A lot of times people think that if you don't want to be a digitizer, that you don't have to learn or know anything about digitizing. That is not true. You have to know something. So if anything, I really recommend that you at least take a beginner's class so that you can have an understanding of how designs are made. Okay. About the different types of the running stitch, the satin stitch, the bean stitch, the fillers, how they use that. Okay. Because even though you don't want to be a digitizer and you're going to have software, you want to be able to take certain designs that you purchased and you may want to tweak them. Okay. That's what Sandra's talking about, tweaking, because I do it all the time. Okay. I sometimes find a design that I like, and then I see another design that I like. And of course, you got to make sure you read and you make sure you're not copywriting and stuff like that. Okay. But there's a lot of people that sell designs and they say, hey, as long as you're not reselling the file, okay, or, claiming the design as your own, then you're good. Okay. And they're fine with you using the designs for sale and all that kind of stuff. So, and they also do tell you they're not responsible if you change it up. Okay. So, I always look to make sure that there's no limitations to designs that I buy. And then I sometimes like to take a design here and there, just change it up a little bit, maybe make it bigger, smaller, cut out some jump stitches, change some colors, add some wording, merge some designs together into one. Add a little flower here or there, or a little cloud or a bear or whatever. There's a lot of things you need to do. So even though you don't want to be a digitizer, it's not that you're gonna be a digitizer, but you have to know enough so that you can make modifications to it. Okay, you have to know enough. So it's just, that's important. So, I just wanted to, I'm glad you brought that out, Sandra. I appreciate that, because that is really, really important, because a lot of times you want to add text and all that kind of stuff and everything. You want to learn how to do stuff. Okay. And Miss Banks says it depends on what you're interested in making. Anetta by Design on YouTube teaches beginners on how to sew, shop for patterns, fabrics, and other supplies. Oh, I didn't know about her, Miss Banks. I gotta have to Anetta by Design. I'm gonna have to watch her channel too and stuff. Yes, Iris, it takes dedication and passion for the art of embroidery, and it does. And that's one thing that a lot of people get discouraged, because they think it's easy. They really do. They think it's easy. They think that you got the machine, the stuff, just pop it in, press go, and the machine's golden. And you're like, oh, I'm embroidering. There is just so much thought that has to go into it. And you really have to understand what you're doing. You really do have to understand what you're doing. And if you don't have that dedication, like Iris said, if you don't have the dedication, you don't have that passion, you're going to lose interest real quick, and you're going to get frustrated. So, oh, look at that. Sassy got another good question about, does the SC2000 cut the jump stitches? See, that's a functionality that I would be like, oh, that's a good one. Yes, to cut the jump stitches, because there is a lot of time when you have a single needle machine and it's not cutting jump stitches for you. That takes a lot of time for you to clean up. Now, there's two ways that people usually clean up. Sometimes people will cut the jump stitches at the end of the embroidery design. I always cut my jump stitches during the embroidery design, okay? Because I feel like the design comes out looking more crisp. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes you can have a stitch that goes from one side of the design to the other. And then what happens is, even though it's just one thread, if the design then does a filler, that one thread that went from here to here can create like a little bump, okay, underneath all those threads. And it can give it a little curved look. So it can kind of sometimes distort a design. It's not going to look as crisp as if you had cut all your jump threads while embroidering. So when I use my single needle machine and I see a jump thread, it jumps, I'll let it jump, stitch a couple of times, I'll turn off the machine, and then, I'll stop the machine, and then I'll just go ahead and I will cut the jump stitch. I'm saying strip, the jump stitch off. So that way I can have a real crisp, clean, full flush embroidery design. I don't want threads on top of unnecessary threads, So yeah, but Sassy, that is a really good question. And you know what? I hope it does, because that would be a big plus and stuff. Hey, Walk by Faith, you are so right about embroidery. When I first started, I didn't know a lot about it. Yeah, I didn't know either. It's a learning curve. It's a huge curve, and it's something that a lot of people have misperception about. They really do. They have a misperception. They there's two misperceptions. The one is that they think it's easy, and they think it's cheap. And how wrong you are. And a lot of times people like to advertise embroidery as it being easy. It's not. It takes work. I mean, it really does. It takes work, and it takes a lot of money, okay? And it can get up there. It can get up there, and it takes a lot of time. It really does. So, and a lot of people have that misperception all the time. Hey, Nana. Let's see. Embroidery, yep, embroidery software, very important. You got to make sure you have the right one for you. Totally agree. if you don't have the right type of, because you got to work it. You got to understand your embroidery software and stuff. So that is like really important. You got to make sure that, just like the machine, it's just as important as the machine. You want a machine that you understand, that you know how to work, okay? That makes things easy for you for what you want to do, okay? So the same research that you went into to buy your embroidery machine, no matter what brand it is, okay, no matter what brand or anything, you got to do your research. You have to. And make sure you understand that you do your research on support. Just like with the software, support. Okay, if I don't understand how to do something in the software, where do I go for help? Right? You don't want to be like alone in the forest, right? Same thing with the machine. Something happens to your machine, who's going to help you? You got to make sure you have someone there, okay? That you have the right support that's going to help you maintain that machine, fix the machine. You got to remember, I mean, machines break. It's a machine. It's a piece of hardware. It's a piece of equipment. Things go bad. Pieces go bad. Just like a car, okay? You buy a car and you drive it off the lot, brand new, everything works, right? Okay, well, 20 years later, okay, think about it. Is everything still working? All right, I bet you had to replace the brakes a couple of times. Bet you had to get some new tires. I bet you, a couple of oil changes here and there. So, so everything has a life that it has to go through. So you want to make sure that you can get the proper support for that embroidery machine. You also want to make sure the same thing with the software, okay? Because the softwares will have upgrades. I'm sure that whatever software you buy, as they're going to introduce new features. Now, depending on the different types of vendors, I don't know how some vendors introduce new features into their products. I know within Brilliance, they introduce it using modules, okay? Like, for instance, they have Merlot patches. That's a module. So if you're all into making patches, Brilliance has a module that you can purchase that focuses on patches. If you want to do knockdown stitches and stuff like that, you have Enthusiasts, and I think Enthusiast is also what does the repositional hoop as well. So, you just have to, you got to look at the different softwares, see what they offer, and talk to people that use them. Talk to people that use them and see if you can use them for free. That's my whole thing. Sometimes they have the trial period that you can use. Hey, Gail. Oh, thank you, Alice. Yes, please don't forget to hit that like button if you like today's topic. Hey, Crafty Puerto Rican, how you doing? Hey, Nana. We all make mistakes. Yep, we all do. Even the ones that have been doing it for a long, long time. Eartha said, we all mess up. Been embroidering for over 15 years and I still mess up sometimes. Yep, same here. Same here. And sometimes I make the most simplest mistakes. Mistakes that I should know better, but messed up. And there have even been times when I have hooped an item, put it in the machine, embroidered the whole thing. And then when I take it off the hoop, you know what? I forgot to put the stabilizer in there. So I'm like, ooh, it came out embroidered nice. It looked nice, but I'm not going to give it to a customer like that, because I know the moment they put that thing in the wash, I'm toast. I could just see the review. Came out like a squished ball or something, So, those are the ones I sent my mom, because my mom ain't gonna, she ain't gonna rat me out, and stuff. And she don't mind. I always let her know too. I'm like, oh, I didn't put stabilizer in this one. So when it gets dirty, just throw it out. Don't bother washing it because it's not going to come out right. Yeah. And Danielle, thrift shopping is the key to practicing on a budget, or go to the dollar store, buy cheap fabric. but just buy the cheap stuff. I'm telling you. And then practice. Take fabrics that you can get from the dollar store, cut them up in squares, just cut them up in squares, put them in the embroidery machine, practice different designs. Okay, just practice different designs on different types of fabric too. Don't just do the same type of quality fabric. Like, I'm going to use cotton quill all the time, right? No, use different types. Use stretchy fabric. Get a plush. Get a cheap blanket. Get a blanket from the thrift store that has the puff on it. Try the knockdown stitches. Get stretchy. Get cotton. Get old leather. If you have old leather hanging around, of an old leather beat up bag or something like that, you're not even using anymore and you were going to throw out, just cut it up. Take the piece of leather so that way you could see what it's like to embroider on leather. Just practice any chance you get. And trust me, the more you practice, the more you're going to learn about fabrics, threads, stabilizer, and stuff. You don't want to learn it when you are making a gift for someone. Okay, when you went and bought an expensive blank and you put it in the machine and you think you got it all figured out and then it didn't work. That's not the time you want to practice. That isn't. Because what's going to happen is when you mess up that blank, you're going to be upset. And then you're going to have to take out a book like this and meditate and tell yourself, calm down. It's going to be okay. So this is not, that's not the time to practice. So, get old bed sheets. Learn how to embroider on very thin fabric to medium weight fabric to thick fabric. Get the thick upholstery fabric, outdoor fabric, all kinds of fabric. Just, and look around your house too. Look around your house and say, oh, let me try to embroider that. Let me try to embroider this. And just do it. Just do it and practice. And it's going to get better. Trust me. Hey, Joanne, how you doing? Let's see what else we have out here. Would you print out? Scroll back, confine. Let me see. Oh, Marlene, I have a hard time to find. Yes. Okay. Marlene, for 60 weight thread, what I do is go to allstitch.com. If you go to allstitch.com, you will find 60 weight thread in a lot of different colors. That is the only place that I've been able to find 60 weight thread on. Okay. I get the Madeira and I do get it from is it Allstitch? Yeah, allstitch.com. Allstitch.com has the 60 weight thread. They are difficult to find, because a lot of times when you go to a lot of these other embroidery thread companies, most of them sell 40 weight. Most of them sell just really the 40 weight, and they don't even offer the 60 weight. Like the Candle Thread USA, I looked on their site, it was all 40 weight thread. Thread Art, I didn't see any 60 weight thread. They may have changed that because I know they got Serger thread on there, so they probably do have 60 weight thread. I don't know, I gotta double check, but I've had a hard time finding the 60 weight as well, Money. So just go to allstitch.com and you'll be able to see it there. If you go under the thread, Madeira thread, they do have the 60 weight, and you'll be able to find, they got lots of colors and stuff like that. And, that's where I get mine. Is there certain colors that I best to start with 60 weight thread? Nana, yeah, when it comes to the 60 weight thread is usually used for very small fonts, right? And a lot of times when I have seen designs in small fonts, the common color is usually black or white. Okay, that is usually the most common. Now, I will say I do have a collection of 60 weight threads, because I do work on a lot of business logos. So sometimes I'll have a business that they will have a logo in red, with the small fonts in red or blue or gray. So I have those type of colors, but I usually buy them as I get a customer. So, but the white, if you start with white and black, I think you're good, and stuff until you know that you have a project that's going to require another color. But I would go with black and white. Let's see. What is that? Maybe Jeanette can direct us to Iris. Oh, where do you buy your napkin blanks? If you go to my Amazon storefront, Rhonda, I have all my blanks there. Okay. And stuff. The Amazon storefront is in the description of the video. Okay. So if you go there, you'll see all the blanks, including the napkins. Let me see. Let's see. What's the best way to make kitchen and bath towels look pretty on the back? Tender touch. Use tender touch. Okay. I usually get the white tender touch, and then what I do is I iron it on the back. Now, the way I iron it though is I use a heat press, Rhonda, because the heat press puts a lot of pressure on the tender touch, so it kind of makes it in flush with the towel and the napkins and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I would do a tender touch in the back. And then depending on the design too, like let's say you just do an initial. If you just do an initial, I wouldn't even put anything on the back, you don't have to if it's just like one initial. But if it's like a pretty, not a big design, but if you see that there's like, it's a design that has like a lot of different colors and stuff like that, you turn it around, it might look a little messy and stuff like that. So in that situation, you can use tender touch, or there's something else called cloud cover. And cloud cover is another covering for embroidery. But I use the cloud cover because that comes in the color, I think they have it in white, but I could not find tender touch in black. That seems to be very, very difficult to find. So I use the cloud cover brand. So I buy those in black. That way I can, if I have like black dinner napkins or a black bath towel or something like that, it works perfect in the back, so, but if it's not, if not, then I'll use a white tender touch on the back of it. So that'll that helps and stuff. But if you're going to use an iron, that's another thing. If you're going to use an iron, make sure you press really hard. Don't steam, because remember the tender touch has adhesive. So if you use steam, you can weaken the adhesive. So you want to iron it, but you want to put pressure on the iron so that it really is flush with your towel. So yeah. Oh, and there you go. And Iris also said that you get some classes at Joanne's. And Marlene says she gets her training every day on Friday at 8:00 with us. Well, I try to teach you guys and stuff. All brands. Is that where I go? All brands? I don't think is it All Stitch? No, I think I go All Stitch. I didn't think about going to All Brands, Eartha. Okay, I'm gonna check them out, because I have to do some price comparison, because I did not think about that. Allbrands.com. I'm gonna write that down. So then what I would do for the 60 weight thread, then go to allstitch.com, see how much they charge for their 60 weight thread, and then go to All Brands and see how much they charge. And do, and And you guys know how I do. Because it's all about saving the money, right? So, and go to whoever has the best price, and then sometimes too, some of these sites, they have sales. So, I always tell people, create some kind of like because you're going to end up getting a whole bunch of email. So create like a dummy email account, a little extra email account for you, and you use that only to sign up to all these embroidery websites. Because sometimes when you sign up these embroidery websites, you'll get like free designs. They'll offer you free embroidery designs, and you'll get like coupons. They'll send you coupon codes and different stuff, so that you can get your products cheaper. So I always say, just do that, but create the email address that's kind of separate from your personal, because then what's going to happen is your stuff is going to get buried, because all these companies, they send out emails all the time with coupon codes, what's on sale, and all that kind of stuff and everything. So yeah, but thanks for mentioning that, Eartha, because I did, it didn't even I heard of all brands, but it didn't dawn on me about getting thread there. So see, we all teach each other. Look at that. And Eartha says she's going to be attending a class next Saturday about starting an embroidery business. And that's a very good. That is very, very good. You got to do those things. Oh, there goes Miss Blank said when she went to JC's Penney, she said the blanket throws were $12.99 to $16.99. Very plush and great quality. Yeah, she was at JC Penney, and she sent me a photo, and I was like, and there in the photo, I remember there was one that was like a navy blue. It was gorgeous, navy blue. And I thought about my son. So now I'm thinking about going to JC Penney and see if I can grab one of those and embroider his name on it and then send it over to him, as a gift, because I know that he would probably love that and stuff. But yeah, I mean, they look like they were really great quality. And I was thinking, I was like, this holiday, I mean, times are a little rough, times are rough. Okay. Everything's going up but the check. Okay. So, times are a little rough right now. So I'm, thinking, well, now is the time for us to start getting really creative and thinking about what could we get out there and embroider, personalize them, give them out as gifts. And the those blankets is a great idea. So tomorrow, I'm going to be working on this other blanket that I'm working on this customer, because a lot of people put comments on the Facebook, because when I did that plush blanket with the lady's name on it, with the girl's name on it, with knockdown stitches, a lot of people were like, how did you do that? So I'm actually going to be doing the same thing, same concept, but I'm going to be doing it on this one, on this blanket. Okay, this is the blanket, and these are the threads that are used for her. And this is the thread that's going to be for the knockdown stitches, and this blue is going to be the thread that's going to be for the actual name. So tomorrow I'm going to film this, and I will post it. And I have other videos that I have to post out there for you guys as well, because I'm trying to do. I want to post some videos for you guys on ideas to create for Christmas that ain't gonna break the bank. Okay. Because times are rough, right? So we have to start getting creative on how we're going to use these skills to give gifts to our family and friends. So I did my dinner napkins. They came out really, really nice. I got a video. I already filmed it. I just have to edit, just upload it, okay, on YouTube, so you guys can see how I actually did the dinner napkins, okay, with the rolled hem, and I embroidered it and stuff. They came out gorgeous, and that video is coming out soon. I do want to do the video on this blanket, okay. And I'm going to film that tomorrow, and I will upload that as well. So that way you guys can see how to embroider a plush blanket with a person's name on it, and you can do this on a single and a multi-needle machine. Okay. I also have something else that I got, and I had to film. I just got it. Okay, I'm going to show you guys. Sorry, Mello. Thank you. I got this. Okay, this is an automatic bobbin winder. Okay, I haven't even opened this yet. Okay, so I'm going to do an unboxing of this. And the reason why I want to do the unboxing is because I did a couple of videos on winding your own bobbins, right? And, you know, I did have some kind of difficulty in winding the own bobbins, trying to find out what's the best way. The thing is, it's a hit and miss thing. So I'm thinking, you know, is it worth it investing in one of these things where supposedly you're supposed to be able to wind your own bobbin and it comes out perfect every time? Because let's be real, okay? Having the black and white bobbins are nice, the pre-winded ones, okay, or pre-wound, whatever, the ones that are already made, okay, the black and white, they are nice to have, but you are going to have situations where you are going to want your bobbin thread to match your top thread, okay? So you're going to want to be able to learn how to properly wind your own bobbins so that you can work on your projects. And the thing is, you want to make sure you wind your bobbins correctly, because you got to remember the top thread and the bottom thread is just as important as that top thread. Okay, so you want to make sure that your embroidery always looks nice, crisp, and clean. So I want to unbox this. I want to try it on video. I don't want to edit the video because I want you guys to see, is this truly something that I was able to take out of the box and wind my bobbin instantly, or was there a learning curve? We're soon going to find out. Was it a learning curve? Is this a hit and miss? Is this worth the buy or not? I can always still return it. If it's not, I'll just be like, okay, well, this is going back. But, you know, hopefully it's not, you know, because if that's the case, and this was not that bad. The price for this was not that bad. But then again, here we go. The same thing with, you know, what we're saying today is embroidery easy. No, because there's always something that you're going to need. Always. Okay. So it could be that maybe this is something that we may have to invest in if we want to have our own bobbins for, you know, for embroidery. Okay. And stuff. So, and the thing is, now I'm trying to research to see, can I wind my own bobbins for the multi-needle machines that I have? The reason why I'm asking that question is because the bobbins that are used on the multi-needle machines are very different than the bobbins that I'm using on the SC1900. The SC1900 has a, you know, the case, the plastic case around it. Okay, the bobbins on the multi-needle machines, they don't use those bobbins. They use bobbins that are sideless. Okay, that means there's nothing on the side. Okay, and it's a magnetic bobbin. So I don't know how someone would wind those bobbins. I don't know. So I'm trying to research to see, is there a way you can do that? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to see if I can find out. So I may have to visit my sewing shop this weekend and ask the question and see, you know, and stuff. But if there is a way to do it, I'm going to try to find out, you know, and then of course I'll let you guys know. Okay. I see Mello, big boy. Yes, he is 80 pounds. 80 pounds of a big boy and stuff. I got the software. Yeah, you're just gonna need the yeah, I mean, Joanne's saying she's having trouble with the software. I have a Mac and a Brilliance Enthusiast. I can't save files on my Mac. Oh, can you save it on your USB? You should be able to save it on your Mac, though. It's gotta be, there's probably a setting or something Does anyone have a favorite font? Absolutely. Mine is Maya. Maya from and I got it from Stitchtopia. And the reason why I love that font is because I have not found that one word that doesn't look good in that font. That font always looks fabulous no matter what word you use in that. Because I will say that is one thing I learned. Not all fonts look good with everything that all the letters and stuff like that. So sometimes you got to mix up some fonts and all that kind of stuff and everything. So yeah. But let's see. Anything else you guys have out here? Oh, Alicia says she likes the London font. Oh, the Palm Beach font. Yeah, I seen those. Oh, Hosty Toasty font. I'm going to have to go through the chat again and see. Oh, Lucy says she purchased the So What Pro. So What Pro does not work on the Mac. I wish it did because I would love to be able to try some of these other embroidery. But yeah, I'm Mac all the way. I am Mac all the way. So I'm limited. I'm really limited on it and stuff. Let's see. Yeah. Iris, yes. Eve of the Baby Booty, she uses So What Pro. And she actually, I think she's affiliated with them as well. And she also sells, you can buy the So What Pro from her. Let's see. Let's see. Anything else? I think we're good. I think we covered mostly everybody. Hey, Ivory. Got some of my stabilizer, but it was sold under a brand name had in this sewing store. And that's the other thing too. About the when you talk about brand name and stuff, there's so many different types of brand names. I am not particularly brand name specific. I'm really quality specific. So it's like, if I see a brand and it's good quality, I'll buy it, but I'm not afraid to try something else. Because the thing is, sometimes you can get something that's just the same quality and just a little cheaper. So, don't be afraid to venture out. Just don't go crazy when you buy a new brand, like just buy the small pack, just enough so that you can test it to see, okay, I like it or I don't like it. And then, if it works, great. If it doesn't, you don't have 1,000 of sheets around, and stuff. So don't be afraid to venture out and stuff. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, the slap of the huggers. Yes, I will put that in there. And I gotta tell you, these the huggers, they're in my Amazon shop already, but I'm gonna put these in. These are really good for the big combs. And this isn't really for embroidery at all. This is a kid's toy. And I don't know. I saw it and I said, that's what they use for the wrist, for the for my thing. And I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Oh, sorry, Mello. He's sleeping. See, this is this. Okay, this is like what I use for my pins when I'm sewing, right? And you put your pins on here, right? But I looked at it, and this is the same thing. It's the same thing. The only thing is this has this thing. Look, it comes out. It's a magnetic thing, and it just slides in. So I was like, oh. And when I looked at it and I was playing with it, I was kind of like, oh. And then when I saw it on Amazon, and they have like different ones. Now, the only thing, like I said, make sure that you get the ones that say silicone. silicone. They do have other ones because it is like a kid's toy, because they call this like a slap wrist, something like that. And some of the kids' toys, they have like the little decorative ones, and I was kind of thinking of getting those because they had like little butterflies, really pretty ones, right? But the thing is, I started reading the reviews, and someone had took a picture of it, and what it was like a plastic vinyl. So I was kind of like, oh, that's pretty cheap looking, and I could tell that that's not gonna last. I mean, and they were cheaper. I think this that I bought, I think was like $12.99, and then the other ones that I was looking at, it was I mean, they were like $7.99, $8.99, and I was like, oh, that's cheaper, right? But then when I read the reviews and then I saw the picture close up, I was kind of like, oh, that's why they're so cheap. Because that's not going to last long. And the thing is, I just want a set for my big combs. That way, but I don't want to have to like buy them and have them break on me and all that kind of stuff, because then you're kind of like wasting money if you have to rebuy them, right? So I was like, no, I'm not gonna. I'll stick out. Let me just spend the extra couple of dollars and get the silicone one. So I got that and stuff. So I'm like, yeah. So so let me see what else. But I will put that on there so that you guys can see where I got them, in case you guys are thinking about it. Slap rulers. Yes, yep. Eartha says she uses slap rulers. Yes, and that's another thing that someone said. Oh, she found them at when the school supplies came out. Yeah, some people actually use these for their vinyl. So like, let's say you have a roll of vinyl. Let me see. I got vinyl right here. Let me see. Let's give it a shot. I got vinyl right here. Yeah, like if you have a roll of vinyl, right, and you want to keep it like in a circle. Oop, I did it wrong. It's the other way. You're supposed to be able to, slap it, and then it holds the vinyl in place. So yeah, a lot of people use this for vinyls, and probably like if you have rolls of stabilizer, this will help too, so that your stabilizer is not going anywhere. So I was kind of like, oh, so she got it at Walmart. So you know what? I wonder if it's cheaper at Walmart then, because you know how it is with Amazon. Amazon sometimes jacks up the prices and stuff because, you get that free shipping and all that kind of stuff and everything. So thanks for posting that, Eartha. So she said she found them at Walmart where the school supplies came out. So what I would do, guys, is I would take a little trip to Walmart, see if they still have them, and but while you're there, just go on your iPhone and look them up, and then see if they're actually cheaper at Walmart or if they're cheaper at Amazon. And if they're cheaper at Walmart, then you guys know what to do. you guys know what you got to do. Same way, I am a very determined person. I'm very, very hard-headed. My sister can really text to that. I mean, and that can, and it's a good thing, and then it's a bad thing too, because I can piss off a lot of people. But I'm just that's just my my way. That's just how I am. I've always been that way my whole life. And I am also the type of person that if you tell me that I can't do something, that I can't accomplish something, I will work harder to prove you wrong. That's just me. It really is. It's who I am, When I get frustrated, I just leave the sewing room until the next day. Yeah, and Robin, I've had to do that myself. Actually walk away. A girlfriend of mine told me that, because what happens is you're frustrated and then you just make more and more and more mistakes. But I wanted to get the book. I saw this book and I thought it was like so neat, and I was like, oh, so I picked it up, and then I even went and I picked up a copy for my son. While he's away in college, because you never know, he might have his little down moments, and he may want to like just open up the book and just read a page or two just to lift his spirits up. You just never know. Let me see. Anything else? Even though I have practiced on everything, I still have big boo-boos and I have to rip it out. And it took me 4 hours to rip it out. Some Christmas presents. Hate when I have to do that. And Sandra, invest in, because I know that's one thing. When it comes to embroidery, when you mess up, it can be big because you're talking about thousands of stitches that you got to undo. See if you can invest in it's something called a Peggy stitch eraser. And you know what? If you have an electric razor in the house, the Peggy stitch eraser really is, to me, like an electric razor. I've always wanted to try an electric razor on the back of embroidery to see if it'll cut the thread. The thing is that, I would have to wait until Fred's not looking for me to try to do something like that, because I think if I touched his electric razor, he would probably have a fit. But yeah, I would love to try that to see if that would cut stitches. And then what you would do is you would cut the bobbin stitches in the back, Sandra, and that would make the undoing the embroidery a lot quicker. Hey Blanca, how you doing? Oh, thanks. I'm glad that you're learning a lot and stuff. That's cool. Hey, dreams come true, sleeping on the job. Mel, he is. He is. And what's so funny too is during the day when I want to take a break, then he gets mad because he wants me with the machines running and stuff like that. So he's a funny dog. Let's see. Oh, the Everything Embroidery Market. Isn't that an expo, Eartha? I think there is EEM. And I am looking forward to that because I would love to see when that is going to be coming by me, because I would love to go. Miss Banks is going to have to get ready because I'm going to be driving over to pick her up. And I'll be like, we're going to the embroidery market, Miss Banks. And stuff. I'll probably get on her nerves. Let's see. Is there anything else out there? Where did you get the extender? Okay. I got it off of Amazon. I do have links to everything that I use. I do have an Amazon storefront in the video description, and I have that. Now, a lot of times people ask me the pink, because I got a pink. It's like a rose color. They don't have those rose color anymore. I have been looking everywhere, and they don't have the really nice ones anymore. It's like, so you can just get like a silver or a black or something like that. That's where you get the extender. And I always get the short extenders because I don't really need long ones, because you just want it by the embroidery machine. So, yeah, but they are in the in my storefront, Iris. They are. Yeah, Wi-Fi is mostly hype. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something, Nancy. If it is true, if that SC 2000 cuts jump stitches, that would be pretty cool. That would be like, I could see that. Robin says it embroiders at 650 stitches per minute, and for sewing, it's 850 stitches per minute. Okay, so the speed hasn't changed much. You know what? Okay, Robin's saying she'd rather have the Luminaire. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have seen the Luminaire, but that's like the Tesla of all single needle embroidery machines. I mean, there is one in the sewing shop by me, and I have to tell you, I like to sit in front of it. It's like, it's a beautiful machine. It's beautiful. It's big. I think one day when I go to Susie's quilt shop, I'm going to videotape me in front of that machine. I'll probably ask her to show me the Luminaire machine, and probably I'll videotape it and put it on YouTube for you guys to see. But it is, it's the hoops on that machine are huge. It's like you could do so much with that machine. And it's kind of funny because A lot of times people say, oh, multi-needle machines. Um, to be honest, single needle machines are just as expensive. I did a video on that. Don't think that single needle machines don't have value. Believe me, they have value. There are things you can do with that, and they have big hoop sizes, and they are just as expensive, if anything, sometimes more expensive than multi-needle embroidery machines. Okay. I mean, a lot of times people don't understand the functionality and the capability of these big single needle machines. I mean, and they embroider really, really nice. So yeah. I would love to get my hands on a luminaire, but I think they're over 20 grand. If I remember correctly, I think they're over $20,000. And I'm like, ah, wow, you know, it's a lot. And I was looking at a luminaire before getting my multi needle. But what really did me in with the luminaire was when I found out it was over 20. I was like, oh wow, that's way too much. And then my multi needle machine, the 6 needle, it was for the whole thing, stand, all my hoops and all that stuff, it was 11,000. So I was kind of like, oh, okay. So I was like, okay, well, 11,000, 20,000. And then I talked to my husband. He was like, oh, just get a multi needle. You already got a flatbed. So I was like, all right. So I went and I got, and I don't regret it. I like my multi needles and stuff, but I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I still look at that luminaire every time I go into that sewing shop, because I'm like, one day I'll be able to somehow get my hands on one of those. I don't know how, but they're very nice machines. So Robin, I'm with you on that. I'll be sitting next to you eyeing over that machine and stuff. Eartha says she bought an older machine at the show. And then I bought the upgrade, and the machine was just like the newer model that came out. And the upgrade was much less than the price of a difference of a new machine. Yep. You just got to do your homework and stuff. Yeah, because Miss Banks says she does the same thing. She does the same thing. Because she says sometimes these new capabilities aren't really, it's just a hype, and stuff. And is it really going to do what you need? Do you really need those new stuff? You don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends and stuff. Cutting a jump stitch can mess up your project if you wait till the end. I always cut my jump stitch during my project. Yeah, because what happens is sometimes a jump stitch could kind of change the layout of the embroidery. That's what I find, J Love. And I think that's what you're trying to say too. I think you're trying to say the same thing. Let's see. Stitch efficiency with advanced color sorts, which adjusts the order in which multi-color embroidery designs are stitched, reducing color changes. Yes, and that's another thing too. And even in embroidery software, sometimes you can do color sort, and that will help reduce the color changes. But it depends on the design. Sometimes you don't want to do a color sort, because sometimes some colors have to go on top of others, okay? Or the design might look distort, okay? So you want to use color sort if you can, but you have to pay attention to the design that you're working on, and make sure that when you do the color sort, that it's not going to change the design and how it should look, okay? And stuff. Hey Rosemary, how you doing? Let's see. Let's see what else is out there. I'm scrolling down. Hey Trevor from Canada, how you doing? Let's see. practiced on a t-shirt that I messed up for sublimation. There you go. Fabric. I embroidered the back of the front of the shirt, had to cut it. So I was glad I didn't have to use the real shirt. There you go. You got to practice. Jeanette, the person that I was supposed to get the gift for Christmas has not placed anything on the wish. They don't have. Okay, Bonnie. Oh, yeah. Thanks for mentioning that. Okay, on the Elster gift exchange that I have on the group, guys. If you are part of that, okay, you could, if people select something from the wish list, it doesn't mean you have to buy the wish list. Okay, I would take the wish list as something to give you an idea of things they kind of like, you know, they like certain colors or they like certain things, you know what I mean? For the gift exchange, all it is you make whatever you want to make for that person. That's all it is. It's not, you know, you got to make something that's similar to what they picked in that wish list, or you buy what's on that wish list. It's not about buying the gift. It's about making the gift. Okay. So don't, you know, I would just ignore the wish list altogether. I would just do that. I'm going to see if I can disable that, but I would ignore that. Okay. Because it's all about making something for someone else. Okay. So, you know, I mean, to me, it's like if the person that I pick is selecting all this stuff from the wish list, I would look at it and I would be like, okay, is there like a common color? Like, oh, maybe they like the color blue, right? They like the color blue, or they like coin cases or something like that. Then I would be like, oh, okay, if they like the color blue, then maybe I can sew them a coin case with that color and put their name on it, or do a kitchen towel with the blue color on it, you know, or a bag or a table runner, or, you know, dinner napkins, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I would just look at when they select stuff from the wish list, just to get an idea of the stuff they like, you know, and then see if you could, when you decide, you know, start thinking about what you want to gift them, you know, see if you can do it some similar, or it doesn't even have to be similar, because remember, it's your gift to them. That's all it is. So no matter what it is, it's all about you making someone for someone else that does this, really the same thing we all do, which is we always creating stuff for other people. So that's what that's about. So I hope I explained that good for everybody. Let's see. Oh, bobbin winders are great and helpful. Yep. Well, making dreams come true. We're gonna see how this one turns out, because I'm gonna unbox this baby and I'm gonna see how it works, and we're gonna see. Yeah, you have to make sure you purchase the metal L bobbins. Ah, okay. I do have some bobbins and stuff. I know I have plastic bobbins, and I do have some metal ones. And this is the thing, the machine I got is supposed to allow me to do bobbins for the Juki and for the brother, because I do have a Juki quilting machine. So I wanted to get a bobbin winder for both, even though the Juki quilting machine that I have, and when I do bobbins on that machine, they come out flawless. Never had a problem in winding a bobbin on my Juki quilting machine. Oh my God. But that is a workhorse. It's solid. It's a piece of metal all the way around. But the brother, it's iffy. So I don't know. You know, so it's gonna be funny and stuff. So anyway, let me see. Hey Danielle, I will be out your way attending an anniversary party at the Regions. Oh, it's Dominion Valley. Oh, what did you? I'll blow the horn. Okay. Oh my God, text me. Yeah, you're gonna be right in my neighborhood. Oh my goodness. So listening while working. You go ahead, crafty Puerto Rican. You make that money, girl. Oh, Miss Banks says, I use slap bands for my thread and also to hold my embroidery vinyls in place. Yeah, I mean, I was like very cheap, very, very cheap. But just get the silicone ones. Don't, just that's the only thing that I tell you guys, because I was very tempted in buying the other ones. And because they were pretty. They had like little butterflies, they had little flowers, and I was like, oh, do a little girly thing, whatever. But then when I read the reviews, I saw that someone had took a picture of a close up, and it was like sewn on the side. So I was like, oh, so they did like a vinyl or something. It's not plastic. So all I kept thinking was, okay, and they did write down, they were like, oh, these are cheap. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you get what you pay for, right? Sometimes you want to save a buck, but sometimes you can't do it all the time, right? Because then you get the cheap stuff, and then you have to keep, they're going to break on you. You're going to have to, it's not worth it. So I was like, all right, I'll get these. So slap bracelets. And if you Google slap bracelets on Amazon, you'll see a whole bunch of these. But like the other lady that said, if you can go to Walmart and find these and they're cheaper, because you guys know I'm all about saving that buck, get them from there. Don't don't be spending extra money if you don't have to and stuff. This was pretty cool. And another thing that I picked up too, let me show you what. This is kind of funny. You guys are gonna laugh. I got this. Now this is just to dust. Now this is actually a brush that barbers use, when they're like, when they cut the man's hair and they like, go like that on their neck to get the hairs out. I actually got this, and it's so super soft. And the reason why I got this is so that I could just like brush down the dust around my sewing machines and my table. You know how sometimes you have the threads that are on your table or your sewing machine and stuff. So I got this. It feels so soft too. And the reason why I thought about this is because when I went to go get my nails done, the lady, she had like this thing right there, and then she went like this on my hands, and she was going, I guess when they were filing them and stuff, she was going, now I ain't gonna lie though, the last lady that I went to, I don't know if I pissed her off or something like that, but man, she was rough on my hands and stuff. And when she was filing my nails, I was kind of like, is she filing my skin? I was like, oh my God, she was a little on the rough side. So I'll be like, I was thinking to myself, okay, next time I go over there, I'm gonna be like, not her. I don't want to go to her because she was rough. I was like, damn, I really felt like the lady was going to beat me up at the nail salon. I was like, oh my goodness. And then I kept thinking to myself, see, that was a reason why I had stopped going, She was rough. I mean, she was really rough. But she had one of these things, and she was doing like this. And when she was doing that, and it's kind of funny because you're always thinking about your sewing room, right? So when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I could use one of these to dust off my sewing machines and stuff, and to clean the table from threads and all that stuff. So I said, let me just buy one. So I got it off of Amazon. I think this was only like $10. It was like $10. Came the next day. I was like, oh, okay. So that's, if you're looking for something like that, just look for Barber's hairbrush, something like that. Barber's hairbrush. They got a whole bunch and stuff, because I was looking for nail brush and stuff, but I that's a barber hairbrush, something like that. And it's just cute. It is cute. It's very, very soft. That's the other thing too that I liked about it, because it's soft. And I was thinking, okay, so that way it's not rough on your machines if you're trying to just dust the top of your embroidery machines and stuff, just to get the dust out and everything. So I was like, okay, for $10, it's not bad. So just, or if you go to Sally's, maybe Sally's Beauty Supply has something like that. I don't know, but there was just something else that I picked up and stuff. So, let's see. Oh, the slap bracelet rulers were $1 each. Oh, okay. If that's that guys, go to Walmart. Go to Walmart. Don't bother with it, because I paid. Well, not really. No, wait a minute. My math is off, Eartha. Okay, if there were $1 for one of these, then it is cheaper on Amazon because I was $14.99 and I got 25. So we got to do the math. Okay, so 20. Hold on. So okay, I'm doing the math. So it was $14.99 and divide that by 25. Yeah, I paid 60 cents. Eartha, I paid 60 cents for each one. So yeah. Then guys, if you go to Walmart and you see it's for $1, make sure that it's at least 60 cents, less than 60 cents. If it's more than 60 cents, then no, I'll give you guys the link because it was like $14.99 or $12.99, something like that. It was something like that, and I got 25. So but yeah, a dollar for one is a lot. And I'm there. I'll just buy them instead of No, making dreams come true. Check out the price though. Check out the price. Make sure you check out the price before because you want to make sure you get the best value for your dollar. Seriously, you don't want to be spending and then Oh, Miss Max says she tried the electric razor and not happy for embroidering. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Jayla, she said, what is the extender for the embroidery? Yes. Okay. Now the extender, what the extender does, let me take one out so you can see what it is. Okay. All right. Take this out of this machine. Give this machine a rest. All right. This is the extender. Okay. Now what this is, J Love, is that it's J Love that's asked, right? Yeah, J Love. Okay. You stick this into your embroidery machine. Now, what's going to happen is sometimes you have all these embroidery designs, right? And they get into, you're putting them on flash drives, right? So these, you're going to have a flash drive, the port, your USB port on your embroidery machine. So what's going to happen is every time you go to embroider something on your machine, you're going to be sticking this into your port in and out, in and out, in and out on your machine all the time. So what's going to happen is, you want to make sure that your machine stays in top shape. So the thing is, with this going in and out, eventually, okay, I'm not saying it's going to happen in a month or a year or whatever. Eventually, this is going to wear out. This is going to wear out because you are constantly putting something in and out through this port attached to the machine. So to avoid that, what you do is this part, okay, which is the same as a USB, this goes into your embroidery machine. And then this is just an extender. So when you go to the embroidery machine and you want to feed the USB drive, you're going to be feeding it through here, through the part that's connected to this. And this is what you're going to be doing, the in and out, in and out, in and out. This is always just going to stay in. So it's not going anywhere. So what's happening is the wear and tear that you're doing on the USB port is not going to actually be on the USB port of the machine itself. The wear and tear is actually going to be on this extender. So I prefer to replace an extender than to have a bad USB port on my machine and have to take it in and then pay big bucks to get a brand new USB port put on my machine. This is only a couple of bucks. This probably, God, I don't even remember how much I paid for it. I think it was about, I don't even think it was $10. I don't even think it was $10. And I bought like a pack of 4, something like that. And you put this on the machine and then just use this to put in your flash drive. That way you're not using the USB port on your machine all the time. Okay. Yeah, so that's what this is. Okay, so it's a good investment, J-Lo, because it helps to keep the life of your machine longer. Okay, because if you got to take your machine in, you know to get fixed eventually, you may have to, you got to take it in for maintenance and stuff. But you don't want something like that to go back, because that could cost you a lot of money to fix, and stuff. So just get an extender, and it helps the life of that. That way you're not going in and out that much and stuff. Oh, I just asked brother this update request. When I use the stitch back and forth button, go to the first stitch. Please allow us to jog carry so that they can match the needle with the previous stitch point. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, but it could be because I'm tired. We quilt just asked brother this update request. When I use the stitch, the back and forth button to go to the first stitch, please allow us to jog carry so it can carry to the previous stitch. Okay, I think you're asking about what do they call it? Back stitching. There is something, if you have an SC 1900, there is something called an automatic back stitch. And I've used it in a couple of my videos. I think that feature works really, really well. I use it all the time. But it does match perfectly from where you started to where you actually press that reverse button. It actually goes back, and then it goes all the way to the very last stitch. So it's like perfect. But I don't know if what machine you're using, We Quilt Studio, but if it's the SC 1900, they do have a backstitch, an automatic backstitch feature, and it works really good. It really does. I like it. Let's see. Plastic is junk. Unfortunately, making dreams come true. A lot of the machines now are made out of plastic. Except the Juki that I got. That is all like metal. It's heavy as hell, though. I will say that. Very, very heavy machine and stuff. You missed the main point with the... Oh, it does cut the jump stitches. Oh, okay. That is a good feature that I would like, and then to put the Wi-Fi on it too, that's extra. So that is awesome, Miss Max. I think that's really good that it does that, because that saves a lot of time. That really does, because for you to have to go in there and pick those stitches up and actually remove all the jump stitches, that does take time and stuff. Let's see. Miss Max said extender is a must-have. It is. Hey, Fabulous 32. How you doing, girl? Yes, it is. Because you want to keep the life of your machine growing. So, and stuff. But yeah, I know what you mean about the plastic, but what you gonna do? You gotta take care of it, right? And stuff. So you gotta take care of your machine. So guys, it is 10:30. As always, I start at 8 and it's supposed to be at 9. And I talk a lot. Okay, I really do. But y'all hang in there with me, that's for sure. And stuff. But I hope that the information that I shared with you guys was helpful, especially for those that are new out there in the land of embroidery. I mean, I just don't. And it's not that I want to discourage anybody. Don't think that. It's not that, I want to say, oh my God, embroidery is so hard and you can't do it. Forget about it. It's just not going to happen. It's not that. I just don't want people to get into it thinking that it's going to be all rosy and that the sun's going to shine and that you're never going to get any rain. And, I just don't want that. I want everyone to have realistic expectations and know up front that it's a craft that, it's something it's a skill that has to be built on, that you got to learn, you got to have patience, and you can do it. But just know up front that there is a lot of things that are involved in it. And it's something that is sometimes not publicized a lot. A lot of people don't share this info. They just say, oh, it's easy, it's easy, it's easy. I'm gonna be honest with you, if it was easy, you would see a lot more people around you do it, honestly. Because when I look around my neighborhood, a lot of my neighbors tell me, oh, I don't, you're the only one that I know around here that does embroidery. Well, there's a reason. There is really a reason. And the reason is because it's really not as easy as a lot of people claim it to be. I mean, even like when you're looking to buy a machine, people come out and say, oh, embroidery is easy, we make it so easy for you. Well, it's not just a machine. There's so much more to think about. There's so many things. So it's like, don't get fooled. It's a whole learning curve. So just prepare yourself for that. Just prepare for yourself. Just know going in that there is a lot to learn, a lot to digest, but it can happen, and you're going to be okay. You're going to learn it. You're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It is. It's going to be fine. Just take your patience, take your time. And before you know it, you'll be among the best of the best. Okay. So anyway, guys, hope you really liked today's topic. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And if you know anybody that is into embroidery, and you want to have an embroidery business or something like that, please share the channel. I'm almost at 10,000. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. Would love to see if I can get there by the end of the year. If not, that's okay, because the way I see it, if I help one person, I'm good, because that's the whole reason why I do all this, because I like helping people. So, guys, have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. And once again, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. Thank you so much for your service and everything you guys do for us. Appreciate it. Love you guys. And don't forget to go out there and get those free meals, because it's Veterans Day. So this is the time when you get all the discounts and all that kind of stuff. So get your discounts. You deserve it, okay? You should be getting those discounts all year round, if you ask me. Okay, so anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Love you guys all. Please be safe, and I'll see you guys next Friday. And this weekend, I'm going to be working on more videos coming your way. Okay, so as you can see, I got a lot of filming to do. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.